this went live.
I, too, will check to see if it went live. You know, we're, I mean, I guess some part of today is going to be trying to figure out, what the, you know, technical glitches are going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that would be...
It is live, because I see it on my phone right now, so...
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, looks like we're...
And then, should I check the multi-stream from, ooh, that's gotta be turned off.
Oh, we got updates. That's cool.
We got, of course, Iron Theory here. Are we live on Iron Theory? No. You definitely might want to turn that off. Yeah, we are. And we're live on Iron Theory on the Facebook page. We're just gonna turn that down. Doesn't have to go totally down, but you know, a little tiny bit.
It's our notifications telling us there's people watching right now.
It's our notifications letting us know that people are watching. There we are. We're kind of, so we are going to start at noon-ish, yeah? Because I feel like that's kind of the thing. So we got, like, what, 40 seconds to kill?
It is 11:59. We
It
have
is
a minute.
11:59. We've got a minute to kill.
El Barto.
El Barto.
I wonder who that is.
I have no idea. I mean, does it really technically matter? Nah.
We need to start like working on like an intro, like cue music, like pick slide guitar, boom.
I mean, I made one. We just I made one. You just didn't know how to make the intro scene.
Yeah.
So I mean, what do you want me
So
to do?
I'll be up front with people right now. He did give me an intro that you probably saw on Facebook, but I did not use it. So.
But that's okay. I mean, how long have we been talking about this podcast? Like 3 months now? 4 months now?
So, anybody who has us on Facebook, which looks like everybody who kind of chimed in right now,
Probably does.
they saw our, like,
Yeah.
workouts and shit. So,
Yeah.
you know, we would stream our workouts, and I think we entertained it a few times, I think.
Yeah. We've been... It's been going back and forth. Like, as far as actually starting, like, planning and buying things, I think this was, like, what? At least a month or two ago already that we started, like, actually putting...
So, it was just, like...
serious work into it.
So, just, like, I feel like anybody, like, procrastination, it's real right here. So, procrastination...
That's all him.
Yeah, he's very well organized, and that's why he's a good contrast to me.
That's why we're all here.
But I'm a hard worker, so once I actually, get it out of the way, once I actually start walking, it works out, you know?
Yeah, once Chris gets out of his own way.
Hopefully you guys can hear us. Looks like our levels are pretty good.
Our levels are fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So it's noon. I feel like this is the
All right, intro.
time.
Cue intro.
Bros and brolettes.
Vikings and Valkyries.
Welcome to Iron Theory.
A podcast about fitness, life, and everything in between.
I am Arthur.
I'm Chris.
How are you, Chris?
I think they know how we are.
I think they do know how we are. We just started talking about this. Yeah, that makes sense. So, I mean, we might as well start with this. So this is a fitness podcast, and I mean the market's saturated with these. Why should we listen to you, Chris? Why do your opinions matter?
Because I'm certified, all that stuff. X plus years of experience, right? So I've been lifting for, high school. So 2008, I want to say I started actually picking weights up, right? But just like anybody else, it was all trial and error, figuring stuff out. Like, hell, I didn't even think I was going to be a personal trainer at one point, but it just felt right. And then the knowledge and just like trying to understand and just being able to just kind of like pick up on all that stuff. So definitely a no nonsense approach. when I take fitness, so I'll apply the knowledge that I learn and then try not to get too frilly with it. But yeah, I mean, like just in something I like to do. So, that's me in a nutshell.
Adds up. As far as me, why should you listen to me? I am not a certified personal trainer. I'll let you know that now.
That's okay.
I have, I guess I picked a few people up under my wing and taught them what I know. I guess my authority comes from my background, right? I have a background in biology. I am a science teacher. So I've got a lot of the science stuff under my belt. So actual like mechanics of the different like muscle groups of your body and how all the biochemistry of it works. So I guess I got that under me. But I am what someone would call the comeback story, the success story. Yeah.
That's quite the story.
Long story short, I used to weigh like 300 something pounds, so I lost 100 something pounds. So and I did that, through lifting and stuff. So I guess that's success. You learn a lot about fitness and nutrition along the way, and I've kind of picked that up. So I guess that's where my authority comes from. I mean, it's my educational background.
Just to kind of bounce off of that, just a comment on that kind of like story. Like your specific experience, like when somebody says like they set a goal for themselves to lose weight, you almost go into this like I would call like a survival thing. So even like the bare minimum, you're like, okay, I need to understand at least how food works, right? To lose weight. How does exercise work? What should I be doing? Like the most bare minimum. So maybe you won't understand that stuff right away. I know you do, but anybody else who's been trying to kind of lose weight, a lot of people will turn to somebody who's like, oh yeah, this person seems to have had an amazing transformation, and they'll kind of go off of that. So knowledge is power, and that's kind of that first step, right? That's kind of why we're here too. So yeah,
we both learned a lot. Me about losing weight. You, I guess, about gaining weight.
Gaining
in a sense.
Just kind of. And this is something we'll probably touch on a little bit more next week about the like culture of fitness. For me, it was just kind of like approaching it with that how people will go to the gym with like it's like this bro science thing, right?
Yeah, bro. Creatine.
Yeah, like just
Protein.
a lot of like gym myths, and you'll see like people make fun of these people. And I just wanted to dispel a lot of that. I wanted to kind of be that person that can, guide somebody who's confused. And, being a trainer, I'll have a lot of clients that'll come to me and, they already have these preconceived notions of what fitness is and what people are supposed to be doing and stuff like that. So I kind of went out of my way, besides doing the certifications and stuff like that, which is great, but, apply that knowledge, right? And so people can understand, that a bit further. So
yeah, actually, so let's bounce off of that. You mentioned, fitness and kind of the journey, and we talked about, we already mentioned the weight loss and weight gain, but that's definitely like a big like Pandora's box topic,
right?
But let's start with something basic. What does fitness mean to you? So what is fitness? What does it mean to be fit?
Right. So, I mean, for me, I think on the whole, it's kind of like it just means to be generally healthy, right? So you're able to function as optimally as your body will allow. So being flexible and mobile, not needing, having like weak mobility in your shoulders and your hips and like, oh, your back hurts and stuff like that, because you work a 9 to 5, like getting to the point where you won't be feeling that pain and, just getting to like a comfortable weight. I'm not even talking about 5% body fat or anything like that. And that's another topic, but just be generally fit, whatever that might mean. For me, there's an aesthetic part to it. So I do enjoy bodybuilding, but just for the general population, you don't even have to be a bodybuilder. Just get comfortable weight.
Are you gonna flex for the watchers?
Yeah.
Are you gonna do it? We're gonna do it. Yeah, we're gonna full gym bro right here.
Not to take like that's buff enough. Dudes. That's their buff dudes bicep salute, but we don't want to take that.
Fitness to me, I mean, I guess I can piggyback off of you a little bit, but to me, it's not being limited by anything, right? If you have something that you want to do, you can go ahead and do it, right? If it's a matter of like, hey, I have a friend who needs to, move, like, who can I move a couch? Like, yeah, we can.
Like basic stuff like that.
What was one of my favorite moments was so somebody's car was stuck, so our solution was to deadlift the back.
Arlene's car. So my fiance's car. Bless her soul. She's somewhere next door. We're in the office right now next door, and she's cleaning. And I was a little bit of an asshole, but whatever.
Oh, Chris.
So we lifted her car. So this was like last year.
It was the best.
And it was stuck in ice because it was a bad snowstorm last year. If you guys remember, it was like super frigid cold. Like if you were out there for like 5 minutes, it was like freezing, and
you'd
hypothermia. My fingers were freezing off. But anyways, so we just lifted that car up like it was like a sack of potatoes, man. It's a small car, but like given just the feet, we lifted up. She hit the gas, and
it was awesome. It was just like all the traction in the front wheels. But yeah, so it's just not being limited by weakness or anything. I love the outdoors, right? I say I'm a science teacher, but specifically environmental science. And just, going out and hiking, the most beautiful parts of national parks are, I mean, that's backcountry. I mean, it's 8 miles straight up a mountain, that's a 10-hour hike. So it's just like knowing what I appreciate and what I like to see and what I like to explore. And just knowing that at a certain level of fitness, I can get there. I can see the cool stuff.
Right.
I can make it to the top of a mountain, and just kind of, it's a very unique life experience to kind of.
And that's the reward. Like if you talk about like doing like a hike like that, if somebody does enjoy nature and being out there, but they weren't ever able to kind of like get to those like places where it seems unreachable or unattainable because of your conditioning or whatever. The reward is like, oh man, I see all this beautiful stuff. It was worth it. I can go anywhere almost. You almost feel invincible, So I mean, there's so many reasons why people do fitness, but for us, that's what it is. It's a matter of just enjoying, like you said, nature, and just being at that point where you're yourself. And then same here,
Yeah, fitness, it's hard to say that fitness is a goal, right? Fitness is the means with which you achieve certain goals. Like, I want to do this, I want to go there. In order to do those things, right, you have to be fit. If you're, I don't know, a runner, and out of nowhere you decide that you want to run a half marathon, right? That's the achievement. That's the goal. Fitness is how you get there.
Right, exactly.
I guess we can kind of talk about what our goals for the podcast are.
Yeah, so I mean, there's stuff there's a bunch of stuff that's gonna be planned. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, we got like an elaborate scheme right out the gate, but stuff kind of starts to kind of flow as we talk about it more, and it starts to make more sense as we kind of go along with it. So, I don't know. You got one idea?
I mean, I guess. So why am I doing this, right? I'm an educator, so I guess some portion of this is for me to inform, right? I think that's something both of us like to do.
Mm-hmm. Informing is important.
Yeah, so definitely to inform. There is quite a bit of...
We're not sponsored by Monster.
We're not sponsored by Monster. But if anybody would like to give us money,
we
will happily take your money.
We will not deny money.
We will not deny money.
We will not deny money.
Hashtag poverty.
Hashtag poverty, indeed. Hashtag millennial lifestyle.
Yeah. But so definitely to inform, right? There's definitively a lot of misinformation in the fitness world, and to the point where it's almost an unhealthy sort of thing.
Right.
So, I mean, if you're in the gym and you're working to be stronger, fitter, it's tough when there is things online that will actually lead you down a relatively dark path. But also, I mean, to inspire, right?
Exactly. So I mean,
Yeah.
like our thoughts are just kind of like being manifested right now in a sense, but to inspire, like you said, and it just there's gonna be a bunch of stuff that we're gonna touch upon every week. We're gonna go over some specific topic, and then we'll just kind of elaborate. So next week, I believe we're gonna go over culture as far
Mm.
as fitness as a whole, wellness. So that's something that we're going to touch upon, and that's something like we could probably talk about for quite a bit. As far as like structure, I think we're trying to do around 30 to 45 minutes for these podcasts. So it keeps it pretty digestible, so you don't have to like sit there for a whole hour or so. I know Rogan and a few other guys will do like a 3 hour podcast. That's
Yeah.
great and awesome, but I mean, it's just something easily palatable. It's something that you'll be able to look forward to. You don't have to like waste a good chunk of your time. Maybe watch it while you're driving, whatever. But that's just kind of like where
Listen
we're at
to it
right
while
now.
you're driving. I would definitely recommend not.
The soundtrack.
Yeah, do not watch us while driving. You may listen to us while driving. Please do not
Right,
watch
please.
us while
Please.
driving.
Yeah, sorry. I meant listen to us while driving.
Listen to us while driving.
Listen to us while driving.
I mean, I understand you'd be distracted by our absolutely gorgeous faces and everything. It would be too much. You did mention something a little earlier, and I kind of want to get your thoughts on this. You said that part of fitness is this aesthetic quality, right? And that you're a little bit into bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And I guess here is where I want to bounce off and ask, does do certain levels of fitness or do certain types of fitness end up being unhealthy?
Yeah. I mean, like if you talk about bodybuilding, especially for like impressionable, teenagers that are trying to slowly get into the gym and they're just trying to figure stuff out and they see all these, influencer types on social media or whatever they want to call themselves. I think it could lead to like a healthy unhealthy obsession of oh, it's never good enough, it's never gonna be, what am I doing wrong, I'm not seeing results right away. And that's the thing about fitness, is that a lot of people are like, oh man, like this person changed their body in like 1 week. They lost like 30 pounds in 1 week or some shit. To be realistic, that's probably mostly water weight
Yeah, it's a
that they
diuretic.
lost.
Yeah.
And I could probably take a picture, myself looking kind of sloppier, and then take a better lighted picture and kind of tighten up my abs or whatever, and I'll look a bit more fit. So like they'll use these tactics to kind of sell a product, essentially. So we're not here to sell a product, we're here to inform and entertain, and hopefully get some laughs here and there. And I mean, that's you mentioned bodybuilding. So the way I approach bodybuilding, or the way I look at bodybuilding, is a besides the aesthetic part, because bodybuilding itself is a type of sport, right? I say it's like a development, like self-development, physical development for myself. So that's the way I kind of look at it, because it does add, like the way I train, at least specifically, I make sure I'm mobile. That's a key bit. Besides growing muscles, great, fine. Keeping at a moderate body fat percentage, and that to me is kind of bodybuilding.
I mean, I guess it does always run this risk where every type of fitness, right? Whether you're power lifter, runner, biker, bodybuilder, whatever, to be at the top extremes of a sport, I mean, like top 1% of athletes, you're sacrificing some aspect of your health. I mean,
Right.
you're powerlifting has one of the lowest injury rates of a sport, which is kind of interesting to see. But you are risking quite a bit, right? Powerlifters at the top 1% of their sport are usually a little bit heavier. Just that consistent pressure on your joints. Now, don't get me wrong. That there's a safe way to do everything in professional athletes.
Right.
One bad injury can end your entire career, and that's your entire livelihood. So, but I think we do have to acknowledge that the top extremes of any sport
So
is.
you asked me about bodybuilding. So you are he's a strength athlete.
Yeah.
So describe, I guess, for the audience, like when was the first time you touched like a barbell and you were like, okay, I just want to be strong? Like when was that?
We want to open up this can of worms?
I mean, if we're talking like intros, and I mean
Let's do
we're
it.
trying to let them know more about us. This is why we're sitting here.
So, 2012-ish, I was diagnosed with cancer. It was stage 4, I know, right? Stage 4 diffuse large B-cell non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I had one massive tumor wrapped around my ankle that limited my mobility for, oh my God, holy hell,
Speaking
years.
of hikes, right?
Yeah, speaking of hikes. I had 2 tumors on my spine, one on my rib cage, and like a golf ball-sized tumor in my neck. At that time, because of that limited mobility, and just my relationship with food it's absolute garbage, right? I'm a stress eater. So all around that time, I was a 300-pound cancer patient. And if you think cancer makes you lose weight, nah.
I mean, it's different effects for other people,
Yeah,
right?
it's different for everybody. So by the time it was over, oh my God, it was so bad. I mean, 300 pounds, weak as hell. I don't know if I was with you or maybe your brother, and we were right around the Adler Planetarium walking, and I fell. And I couldn't, and I wasn't able.
I have a twin brother. As far as stuff about me,
it's okay. He's the more attractive one.
Yeah. I hope you're watching, bitch. I'm looking at you.
So and I couldn't stand up. I couldn't pick myself up, and that was unacceptable. And it was right then and there that I kind of determined that I've experienced weakness. I mean, the bare bones. I mean, you couldn't get any weaker without disintegrating, and that was just unacceptable. So I've since then kind of really.
So when did you
getting stronger?
At that point, when did you already have a gym membership then?
No. This was actually right around. Oh wow, this is when I kind of started going to the gym with you and your brother. This was.
Yeah.
Do we want
Planet
to
Fitness?
Planet Fitness?
Planet Fitness.
That's where our fitness journey began. Was Planet Fitness?
And not to rag on Planet Fitness,
No,
because
yeah.
like they have an affordable business model, right? You're paying I think you're still paying around like $10 a month or some shit, right?
Yeah.
And for the general population, somebody who just wants to lose weight, they have more than enough for somebody like that. For us, we're more in that special case of the more extreme spectrum of fitness, right? Where we're on that more 1%er kind of level of fitness. Not to say we're performing that way.
Speak for yourself. I would like to. I think I'm barely in the 50 percentile here.
No, definitely, yeah. I mean, like we're in the
powerlifter here.
upper 50s, but
yeah.
We started in Planet Fitness, I think.
Yeah.
Elmwood Park was the location. I think that's the Planet Fitness we went to.
And it was. I mean, it was a grind. I mean, chemo destroyed me, right? And just being fat. So it was like 10 minutes on the elliptical, and then I was just dying.
Yeah.
And it's just excruciating pain, just all together. And then 10 minutes on the elliptical turned to 15 minutes, turned to 20 minutes, turned to walking on a treadmill, turned to jogging on a treadmill. And then I don't know at what point did I actually determine that strength sports were the way to go, because I originally went there to lose weight because that's what I knew. Like, I'm fat, I know I have to lose weight, and I knew that that's what I needed to do. I can't even really pick out at exact which moment I decided that strength sports were the way to be. I guess it was
probably it's like when people they start to touch up on whatever certain topic, whether it's like politics and they go down that rabbit hole, and you're like, man, this is like intriguing. This seems very, I mean, you mentioned weakness. You're like, well, these motherfuckers are strong, right? So you probably, I don't mean to just kind of impose what I think you were thinking, but maybe it was like, well, I knew this kid, just for everybody to kind of know, for shit, like since
Our entire life.
birth.
Let's just say that. I don't know.
Almost,
We were,
maybe not birth,
I don't
but like
know.
we were
We've
babies in baptized in the same church, you know. So that's
We were baptized in the Iron Temple.
That's right. And then
Broden, the All Spotter,
born again.
blessed us with the Way, WHEY,
That's
Way,
Q graphic, boom.
Q graphic. And we're just here together, making our way to Swolhalla.
Exactly. So
Forever.
ongoing journey. So yeah. So I mean, like as far as like I think for you, you probably just started watching, you know, these elite athletes, and you're like, shit, I gotta.
It might have been, you know, World's Strongest Man. I was into that, you know, a little bit, kind of like watching all these like feats of strengths and stuff, and I guess I found that kind of interesting. But nonetheless, we ended up here. So, am I strong?
I would say yeah. I would say so I guess we can define what is strength.
If I go to an export,
Right.
I'm easily one of the top 3 strongest people in that entire gym.
Yeah.
I mean, hands down. If I go to an export, I'm going to be one of the stronger dudes there. If I go to an LA Fitness, right, I'm going to be one of the strongest dudes there. I train at a, well, right now, because of the COOF. Because of the COOF, I'm training
Yes.
at we're both training at a home gym, but and we'll talk about that gym stuff next episode. But at like a private training gym, like an actual bodybuilding powerlifting gym, it's one of the weaker ones, yeah.
Yep. So
Yeah. I guess it's all relative.
yeah, right, exactly. I think I started at Planet Fitness as well. I believe. I mean, we both did.
No shame. It's such a great beginner gym. No shame at all.
Yeah, I mean, like even people who are, you know, depending on like how far they're trying to go, because I mean, like their weights go to about, depending on the Planet Fitness, I think they go up to like 75 pounds. So if somebody's trying to get, you know, yeah, fine. Like for somebody like you, it might be a warm up, right? But you know, for average Joe, it's a good place to go. You know, it's
yeah.
I mean, weight is weight, right? Resistance is resistance. So, you know, whether you're using a dumbbell or barbell, cable, whatever. So, I mean, they offer plenty for anybody who's like contemplating to, you know, step foot in a gym, and you're kind of intimidated by, you know, the types like maybe like Arthur, who are lifting really heavy weight, you know, and they have to like, you know, yell before a set or whatever, you know, whatever. There's options for everybody. Hell, you can even work out at home. So,
You know, Soul Cycle.
exactly.
All these other things.
Yeah.
And I guess that's a preview for next week's episode, when we talk about what is the culture of a gym, and what are the cultures of different types of gyms, and
Right.
kind of go into pros and cons.
Because
of different types
that's
of
something.
lifting. Yeah.
That's a rabbit hole that
Oh yeah.
is
That's a
very
whole
easy
thing.
to kind of go down into. You know, considering, you know, like for myself, you know, what do I do in my spare time if I'm not like, you know, a lot of people may be curious, oh, these people just like lift weights all day. I mean, like for me, yeah, I'll get my exercise in. I'll try to at least exercise, you know, 5 times out of the week, have 2 rest days, but they're usually active recovery days, some kind of cardio.
Yep.
But you know, I'll be reading articles. I'll go through my certification website, and they got articles and you know journalistic kind of like scientific peer reviewed stuff, and just kind of like filling my head with more knowledge. You know, stuff that I thought was correct, you know, proves to be incorrect, and that's where you have to kind of learn, right? So you have to be teachable too. So for myself, you know, I can't say that I know everything, because I know I don't. So
That's my job. It's my job.
yeah,
to know everything.
he's the know-it-all.
I'm the know-it-all.
He's the know-it-all. So that's the nice little yin-yang we got going over here. He says, "Who's that?" I wish I knew who that was. They say, "Calm down, Arthur."
I don't know. This Alberto kid don't like me much already.
El Barto?
Yeah. I don't know. 5'2".
Who are you?
I don't know.
El Barto?
He's throwing that 5% in there.
Yes.
I don't know.
5%.
Isn't that dude dead? What was his name?
Fucking
The 5% guy.
Oh God.
Yeah, that is. When we say some types of fitness are unhealthy,
I mean, yeah.
the 5% crew. I mean, I don't want to. Everybody has different goals, right? To look and be a certain way. So I don't want to. I mean, as long as people recognize that there are trade-offs to being 3%, 5% body fat. You're losing the fat that protects your organs. And so, I mean, there is health everywhere.
So, just to kind of bounce off, I
Trade-offs.
guess, because we mentioned the bodybuilding thing for me and what it kind of meant for me. So, when you look at guys who are performing on, Mr. Olympia and stuff like that, for long term, usually I would not recommend doing that stuff long term, and a lot of the times they don't. So they'll do it for a couple years, who know, like as far as like hardcore competing, and their body can't take being that big, for a lot of time. So if you look at somebody, for instance, like Dorian Yates, who was very prominent in the late 80s, early 90s. He was like Mr. Olympia 5, 6, 7, 8 times or whatever it was. And he's not on that stuff anymore, like PEDs, performance enhancing drugs, because it's just not healthy, right? So, enlarged hearts, just your heart working overtime because you are, 200 and some pounds, 300, pushing 300 of solid mass. I'm not even talking body fat.
It's actually a fair point. BMI is BMI. And the distinction between being, 275 pound, brick house of muscle versus being 275 pounds of fat, your heart is working more or less just the same. Now, obviously, the dude with lower body fat has, a slightly better, probably cardiovascular health and
maybe
nutrition. But when you're that big, I mean, your joints don't care if it's muscle or fat.
Right.
The pressure and degradation is all the same.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. But they don't look like that. Like you see bodybuilders on the stage, right? They look like that for a day.
Yeah.
A day.
So I mean, like if we're talking like how lean they are,
right.
I mean, usually they'll gain all that water weight back within that next week or so at least, and they're not as shredded. So just like what I'm trying to get at is try not to idolize these kind of like individuals and try to attain something, because these individuals, they've been training for a very long time, and B, I mean,
they have coaches and
nutritionists
and experts and
and
all of that.
If they are taking stuff like PEDs, they probably have somebody who is telling them, okay, you're able to cycle this and that, right? So for average Joe, I wouldn't worry about those big bodybuilder types. You stay in your own lane, right? You can be the best you, right? Try not to beat yourself up if you're not looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger or whatever, right? The guy in my shirt.
No, there is nothing wrong with having that sort of ambition, right?
Not at all.
I think the message there is start with the basics, build. If bodybuilding is your goal, right, or even if powerlifting or strongman is your goal, you can't just jump into it. There needs to be a certain core strength that you build up, right? A certain like musculature, doing those compound lifts to increase the size, strength, and just fiber density of the big muscle groups before you start either working on specific movement patterns and like powerlifting and strongman would do, or working on specific muscles and growing them and like kind of evening them out. You can't just jump right into. You can't just go to bodybuilding.com and pick up. This is the routine that what's his name used to be into this movie. I'm like.
I mean, I guess they could.
I mean, you can, but
the problem is with a beginner, because I feel like a lot of people that do watch channels potentially like this, or they look towards YouTube, and they're just looking for the truth, the answer, right? They're probably not. They would need some kind of proper guidance. So somebody maybe like myself, like a personal trainer, to kind of go through this advanced stuff that sometimes they'll pick up through like bodybuilding.com, and they'll go into the gym, they might injure themselves, right? So that's the problem, because people who will post like false information, like, oh, this is the the 5-10 steps to get you shredded fast, which is
God, the amount of those articles I see.
So many. I mean, you'll see it in like you'll be scrolling through Facebook or whatever, and you'll see ads pop up. Especially if you're interested in something. Google's gonna be on that, right? So I mean, just do as much education as you can about doing the fundamental exercises, and just kind of like understanding nutrition, because if we're talking about weight loss, because a lot of people, that's a very common goal for people, is like, oh, I want to shed some pounds, right? So,
and there are resources that aren't BS, and they're popular. I mean, if I go on YouTube, the buff dudes, right? Alan Thrall, Brian Alsruth, these are folks who
we're
probably in their own personal life are they're definitely strong, right? But as far as the content they create, the instructional videos from Alan Thrall, right, how to squat, how to bench, he goes over it very well. So I mean, if you look for the resources in the right place, they're available. Kind of like knowing, and I guess that's part of that is my job, right? When you're in school, and like as a science teacher, how do you know when somebody is trying to bullshit you? And how do you know when somebody's being genuine and not trying to sell you on something?
Well,
right?
like, I think something you said, I think if you can bullshit somebody with like confidence, then that's potentially dangerous, because there's a lot of people who have the confidence and the personality to kind of deliver bullshit, right, in a way where it sounds enticing. So and people who are looking for truth, and they're desperate to kind of find that answer, they're going to listen to it. That's why a lot of these people make that money, right?
I mean, especially if you look a certain way. Like, I mean, if you go to the Instagram models, right, they look a certain way, and they'll be like, I want to look like that. Oh, look, they use this product, or they follow this routine. Like, oh, if I buy this, there's no way to know if that's genuine or not.
Right. Exactly.
That's all right.
Man,
so
we
are out of time.
I mean, we're flying, like, it's like
we are flying.
35 minutes, in. So
I think as an intro podcast, I think they've gotten our general thoughts, feelings, personas.
I mean, we're I guess we were just like really itching and anxious to just like start talking like as much as we can, because we're really passionate about it, I think, and that's where this kind of came from, the idea, because when there is no camera and we're just kind of talking, shooting the shit when we're like lifting, I mean, essentially it's this, because we'll literally sit down after a bunch of sets and the whole workout, and just kind of like
exhausted,
sit there and
your
talk.
endocannabinoid and your endorphins are
flying. They're like, oh man,
you
know
feel
what?
Really the pump is hitting in, right?
Yeah,
everything's good. So I think this is a good place to end.
Yeah, so we can end it like so. I don't know if we have a sign off. We have an intro.
Brolettes, Vikings and Valkyries. We'll see you at the next episode of Iron Theory. Well, we will discuss gym cultures and different types of gyms, and what are the benefits and maybe detriments to working out in certain gyms.
Yes, so look forward to that. That's going to be still at noon on Sundays. Cool. So I'm going to awkwardly go over to the computer and hit end stream.
That's exactly what he's going to do.
There's probably an easier way to do this, but, this is what I'm going to do.
Meanwhile, I think I'm just going to go on like a really short rant about something while you do it. And you're just going to press the button to end stream, because I really feel a certain way